Alright, what's up everyone? This is Cowboy B and we're getting ready to hook up the 325, but all this stuff is going to get stuffed in there and get it knocked out. So we got to take out the air intake, that factory blowout valve, get everything out, intercooler, all that good stuff. We're getting everything out of here and we're going to move along real fast because it's pretty obvious how to take this stuff out. We're going to go ahead and do it anyway to put the dual titanium exhaust in here and the 325 intercooler hoses, and we're going to remove this BOV and run our BOV. And we're going to take this out so we can do a mold and run a carbon fiber cold air intake with the front ram air, so it's a real cold air intake. But for now, on the back, we're going to be running the titanium because we are going to put the carbon fiber ram air vents on the side of the 325. So we're cutting a lot of holes today. Let's get to it. All right, we're here doing the install on the catch can, and just want you to see that you're going to go on the front of the manifold and get the two front Torx bolts out. You can use an inverted E8 or you can use a quarter socket and take them out lightly. Don't take them out hard, and take them out lightly. It's the first two on the manifold right there. So it's going to be tight down here. Can't show you everything, but we'll do it. And I took the battery and tilted it forward to give you a little bit of R room. So get you a small quarter ratchet and you'll be able to get it done. All right, as you can see, the titanium catch can is in on the bracket. And you'll love the easy drain switch because it's down on the bottom. You can't see it because it's up against the wall, very tight fit here off the manifold, but you can reach in here blind, flick it down, drain your catch can, keeps it like a little small red cup under there, flick it right back up, and it's in the on position. So in case you're having to take on water, you have a breather filter here, frog skin, and we'll go ahead and finish hooking it all the way up, because we have to unhook all of this to get it all hooked up. So we're going to move forward in the video and we'll come back to this. All right, you're going to use an 8mm just like in all the other videos, and use a flathead for the smaller ones to go ahead and unloosen everything and take it all out. We're taking off this piece right here, going with the intercooler hoses, the reinforced titanium, and the exhaust. So I'm talking loud because the fan is on, it's hot in here. I'm gonna move fast. We take it off just like the 300 exhaust. There's no extra hoses. Where the trig is at, it's off the new supercharger and the way the BOV is connected into the intake manifold hose. So we'll show you that. But right now we're gonna take everything off. Unloosen your vents with a flathead for your catch cans. It's already installed down there. The titanium looking beautiful. And undo your straps here. Undo this and pull all of this out here. Cut your zip tie here. Voila, it's all the way out. Undo all the zip ties where it's needed. This is your vacuum line, but we're going to use that again to get vacuum for the wet jet BOV. We want to hear some noise. We don't want to hear that non-noise that the OEM has. Just pull it all the way out. There's where we're going to get our vacuum. Here's the OEM cold air. We're gonna leave this here because at some point we're gonna hook this back up and it's gonna be carbon fiber because it's all the way up in the front and we have front ram air. So we'll be able to utilize the cold air theory that seadoo is trying to use, but there is no cold air without ram air that we make. But we're gonna have the rear ram air system, so we'll get cooling from the front and the back and get more RPMs using the ram air in the rear. It's going to pick up speed, but if you only use ram air in the front and have the OEM, works awesome. So you have options. All right, we're gonna go ahead and remove the last intake piece from the supercharger. Right now we're taking off the BOV, the OEM from the manifold line. Work that off, got that all the way out. You'll see that again reincarnated in the carbon fiber. We are doing the exhaust install, but you're getting everything in here. So if you're watching this, you're gonna have to watch everything and get all your info. But we need all the room we can get because everything's coming out. We're gonna go ahead and remove the hoses off of the intercooler, and those are 8mm. We're gonna remove this one, all the way off because we're gonna put the new ones on. We'll take them off all the way and you will come back and show you what it looks like. We're yanking this off now, and we're gonna yank it off from the intercooler side. Keep wiggling and working at it. You'll be able to get it off. Save it for later if you wish, but if you have our titanium reinforced hoses, you're never gonna need it again. Voila, we got that all the way off, and it's out. So now onto the supercharger hose. Let's get that off right now. The back one, same process because they got a little glue on there for grip so they don't pop off. You wiggle and yank them till they come off. All right, after some yanking and pulling, you'll be able to snatch it right off. It's off. We're gonna put the titanium ones on there. But before we do that, we gotta get to this exhaust. All this clears the way. So we're gonna jump over and do the exhaust and get that out. So you wanna take the 8mm off of the water box. We're gonna cut the siphon hoses loose and move them out of the way and get this big monstrosity out of here so we can really hear this 325 rumble with that wet jet exhaust sound that everybody loves. So let's get to it. Okay, we got this all the way out. We're gonna spin it out and go ahead and get the water box and everything else out. To pull it so you can get it out. Pull it to the wide part. You'll be able to take the resonator all the way out. Voila, it's all done. Now we're going to move to the water box. Now we got all this room for activities. You undo the strap. You're going to undo this plug right here, your temp sensor. Once you already got the cup undone, keep rocking it back and forth, and you'll feel the suction come undone, and you'll be able to pull the water box out. Same process as before, nothing more, nothing less, just a little bit of extra things in the way from the 300 to the 325, but we're gonna have that all worked out here in a moment. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get the IBR out. You need to do the override process. So let the screen boot up, hold the IBR. It's in the on position, you'll see override. Hit the mode button, it's in IBR override mode, and go down. And you will see the IBR move in the back and go all the way down. Come off the lever, pull the key, get back to work. Now you see the IBR is down. You can reach in there, and if you got that kung fu grip like Cowboy B, you can go ahead and reach it forward. If you got baby hands, get you an oil changing tool or something like that so you can turn forward towards the hull, and you'll be able to undo this nut. It's not on there very tight, and you'll be able to get it off. rods off by hand. If you don't got strong hands, don't be ashamed. Get your oil change tool like that right there. Go ahead and grip it off. But if it's a fairly new ski, you should be able to find that 15, 20 pounds of pressure to get that nut off. You're gonna need this, don't throw this away. And then you push this back in. Use a wrench or something to get leverage on it. You'll push it back through the hole and pull it out up top. We got it pushed in, and your gasket, keep that because you're gonna need it to put on the nut. We're gonna go ahead and knock that out the way now so we can get it over with. Now spray a little lube right here on your threads. That's your friend. Don't spray it on the nut because you're gonna need to screw that back on. But spray this sleeve right here so you can slide your gasket over really easy, and you'll be able to screw it back on really easy. Buttress thread is tight as it go. You don't need a nut, but WD-40 is your friend, but do not put it on the nut or you won't be able to tighten it back on. All right, I got a helper helping me push it in up top. And we have that collar spray with WD-40, and it presses on really easy. So he's pushing it through. I'm getting the gasket to fit all the way back here, as you can see. And when I start to tighten the nut, it'll mash down the rest of it. But I gotta use both my hands now, so I'm gonna get back to that. All right, you can see here that we got it all the way in. Now tighten it all the way down. You should have just a little bit of threads coming out of there. If you're unsure of your grip strength or you have the millennial hands, go ahead and use the oil filter wrench and twist it down some more. But once you get that play out of it, it's not wiggling, you'll know it's flush to the hull and it's locked all the way down. So let's go ahead and move back to the inside of the hull and get this baby sounding right. Now we're in the back. We're gonna go ahead and remove the flush port because we're gonna have a plug there that's gonna fill in that spot but we gotta cut the exhaust first. So let's get to the fun stuff now. Got that out. Pull that through here. Then you want to undo your clamp because we're going to relocate this. So stretch it as far as you can. If you got a buddy around and you can't get it to a shop, I stress take it to a shop. If you don't know what you're doing, let them make their money so you don't sink. You hold somebody accountable because hard is relative to the person that you have doing it. What's not hard to me is going to be hard to you. If you got a buddy to help you, pay him in beer, pizza, or whatever you got to do, and get some help. But take this off. We're going to push this hose back in. We're going to end up cutting a new hole up here and plugging this hole down here once we do some cutting. All right, now we're going to put the titanium water box in there, and you want to go ahead and transfer your temp sensor, and we'll hook up the strap later. You just pull it over the top because this one's a lot shorter and a lot more rowdy than the OEM. So let's go ahead and put it on there. Slide it in, don't touch anything, don't get any scratches. Then you work it on. Okay, once you get it in, don't tighten it up because you're gonna have to move it because of the orientation of the dual exhaust. You'll probably end up moving this down a little bit, and you can move this locator here for your water box over here. This does not stay permanent. You unloosen this and you can move everything all at once so it all sits right. So keep everything loose until you get the exhaust all the way in here. You can tighten the strap because you can move it with the strap that's on it. But the best way to do the strap is to hook it up first, pull it over the back. It'll be easier. Everybody knows what time it is when you see this. It's hole cutting time. Late at night. I should have started this another day. My dumb ass started it now, so I'll be here all night. All right, we got all the templates on. We're gonna do some cutting. If you got a partner, have them vacuum on the inside, less mess for you to clean up as you're cutting. We're gonna cut the holes out and then go back and use a 7/32 drill and drill out these holes so we can go through. Now remember, the cut line is here, cut on the line. You could always go back. Remember to cut on the line. So that way you cut it right. You could always take a little bit more off, but you can't put a little bit more back. So remember that. That's Cowboy B saying, take your time, cut it once, cut it right. If you need to trim it out, you can go back. But if you cut it too big, that's it, you're in trouble, your ass out. So let's go ahead and get to it. All right, we're gonna move on to your flush relocation. Get you a 1.5 hole saw. Make sure you're going straight. Make your pilot hole first. All right, right where we're supposed to be. Once you have your hose, you can go ahead and pull your template off. Clean everything up, and then we can put the flush port in there. So go ahead and wipe everything down, and remember that your Plastite bolts are going to cut the threads for you. That's why you're using a 7/32. So you put it in there and it's going to cut everything down. And you already got gaskets on here. Perfect fit. We put the bolts right back in there and we're good to go. Remember to bolt it out here first. So you get the hole, clamp it out here on the outside, and then put it back in there. So go put the hose on and clamp it down good, because if your flush port comes off, you will drown your ski. Make sure it's on good. Push it back through. Then you put your Plastite bolts in with your T27s. Make sure you get your bolt in there right on the hole so you don't scratch up your paint. You'll feel it when it's right there. Once it bites a little bit, leave it alone so you can get the second one. Make sure it's flush. Your gasket seal, but don't over tighten it. It's all down. Flush port is relocated. Now we can go ahead and cut this side of the exhaust. And remember, when you put your template, line up your bottom hole with the plug that goes here. So after you cut everything and fit it, you're gonna remove this out, put silicone in it, and put it in there permanently, but we're gonna cut it all out first, and then we'll come back and do this part last. All right, we're gonna put a cam in this baby soon and tune it. So we're gonna go ahead and get it out the way. We already done break-in. Let's get the OEM intercooler out of here because we're gonna need all the cooling we can get. We're going with the Wetjet Performance Evo Neo Cool, and that's one of the biggest intercoolers you can get. Drops your intake temps, works just as good as anything out there on the market. We got a fair price, And we also have a warranty. It's built to last. So if you guys out in salt water, this isn't some thin, light intercooler that's made for a Volkswagen or Audi. This is made for saltwater conditions. So we're gonna go ahead and put it in here on the 325 so we have it when we get our ECU back from being tuned. You take this intercooler out the same way as I showed you in the other video. Nothing is different than the 325. Remember your placement of your hoses, because that's the orientation you're gonna reinstall everything back. Remember, your tri-hose that has 3 fittings on it goes up top. Your single hose is gonna go down on the bottom. And then your hose for your pisser goes out the back. It's already hooked up. Just gonna hook up those 3 and hook it right back up. All right, we got everything hooked. We're gonna go ahead and pull the OEM intercooler out, put the big bad boy in there. Look how much bigger the Neo cooler is, has the finish, it's not gonna rust. Everything you need to go right in here. Make sure your Wet Jet Performance logo is facing up. Same orientation, go ahead and put it in there. Work it real easy. So it goes in, take your time, make sure it fits real good, and then we're gonna hook all the hoses back up. Make sure you tighten your hoses as you put them on, bottom first. If you put them all on, it's gonna be very hard to tighten everything. Everything's tightened back up. Have the Evo intercooler in here, the Neo Cool, and it's all good. We're gonna put the intercooler hoses back on and get everything wrapped up with the titanium reinforced intercooler hoses. So that's the next step. All right, once you got your hose all the way in, go ahead and wrench it back in. On here, you're gonna need a long extension to get back there. Make sure you give yourself enough room to get in and out. And go ahead and ratchet it all the way in. Power ratchet is your friend here. And remember to cut that 2 inches off. Plus, we do this so it has an exact fit, because intercoolers are a little bit different. And there's some other brands out there that are known for popping off here and there. We've never had one hose pop off ever since we've been in business. Once you clamp it down, that's why we have it, so you cut it to fit. Make sure you measure 2 or 3 times, cut once. All right, we got all the hoses installed. They're all cut to length. And yours will be cut to length once they're sent to you. Looks great. You can use the OEM vacuum line. As you see over here, there was no zip tie or nothing, but it's sealed on there, but we put a zip tie on there just for the sake of doing it so it doesn't pop off. But everything's on here, hooked up. Remember, these got the titanium rings. They will not collapse on the boost. These are lifetime warranty. If they break, I don't care if it's 10 years down the line, call Cowboy, we'll take care of it. Everything looking good. We just have to finish the dual exhaust. The titanium water box is in here. The Evo Neo Cool is in here. And we're almost there, man. So we're gonna do the back side and get it all done, piece it back together, and let you hear the rowdiness. All right, we got the back all cut out and the gaskets on while we're bolting up the inside. We got it fitted so the gasket will adhere. A pro tip, put the pipes in, everything will be pressed into place, then you come back and put the flanges on as they're being held into place. It saves you a lot of trouble, and you can do stuff while the glue cures. So let's go ahead and get back to the inside. We got the intercooler hoses on, the Evo installed. I'm gonna put the titanium piping in there. Everything looks good, all gold everything, all titanium everything. And let's get it all locked down. All right, we got the titanium exhaust going in. It's a little too tight in there, but what you wanna do is get your pieces, they go where they go, put the couplers on there, clamp the couplers on first, then put them on the back. So that way you have the coupler, so that way you'll have the clamp already on there and it's easy to fit. It's gonna be a tight fit, can't show you everything, but you've seen it in the other video. It's gonna be the same process. Easy to put on, just take your time. All right, we got the water box all done. Remember to put your temp sensor back in, plug it back up. We switched to the carbon fiber because the titanium was a little too long, so we got to alter that for the 325. The 300 is no problem, but the supercharger is a little different on the 325, and it was about 1.5 inches too long, so we'll make some that are in titanium for this. But everything looks dope on the inside. All titanium. You're gonna get that no drone sound, and it's gonna have an exotic sound compared to the aluminum. But we got the gold outlets. We're gonna go back to the back and put the flanges on, and we'll be done. But remember, tighten from the back to the front. Tighten the clamps as you come forward. Don't do it backwards, or you'll have a hell of a time trying to tighten everything up. Do the 2 backs, excuse me, the 4 backs, then the 2 up top on the Y split, then the first one up front, then put it on here. You shouldn't have to relocate your water box with the titanium. Comes out perfect. And make sure that you play with your couplers. You need to slide them halfway on in the back, and then the other half for the outlet. Don't put them all the way on the front edge, because you'll have too much move to the front, and this mid pipe is going to miss it and come forward. Half and half in the back. If you have an RXTX, it's 2 inches closer to the back, so you push it more to the back end. So remember that for the RXTX. But everything looks great, and we've got to finish hooking up the catch can, and then we'll be done. And we'll fire up so you can hear it. So the catch can, we're hooking up like normal. Hook it on right there in the front, and then run it right here to your crankcase vent, and clamp it all down. You know, cut your hose to fit. Yeah, we gave you a little extra, and then we'll put it here and clamp it down with the clamps that came on it.